When Dublin's streets are quiet at night, the shadow of the organized crime feud still lingers. Most people know the names of the men, the cartel leaders, the enforcers, the hitmen. But there is another, often overlooked story: the lives of the women connected to them. These are wives, partners, and mothers whose daily routines are defined by fear, wealth, secrecy, and loyalty. Some live in fortified mansions with private security. Others raise children in Dublin's inner city under the constant surveillance of law enforcement. They attend social events, run businesses, and manage households, all while navigating the dangers that come with being close to organized crime. For some, life has been glamorous: jets, luxury hotels, designer wardrobes. For others, it has been a careful balance between raising children and avoiding the attention of both rival gangs and the authorities. Most of these women are not criminals, yet their stories reveal how deeply organized crime can touch the lives of those around it. One of which is Caoimhe Robinson, who grew up in Coolock, a working-class neighborhood in North Dublin. Her early life was far removed from the glitz and opulence she would later experience in Dubai. Before marrying Daniel Kinahan, Caoimhe was linked to another notorious figure, Micah Kelly, a gangster involved in 6 murders. Kelly's violent death in 2011, shot multiple times and then run over by a car, would mark the first of several personal tragedies that shaped her understanding of the gangland world. In 2017, Caoimhe married Daniel Kinahan in a high-profile ceremony at the Burj Al Arab. The event was attended by senior figures from Irish and Scottish organised crime, highlighting how marriage for these women often intersects with power, status, and danger. Since then, Caoimhe has established herself in Dubai's real estate market, handling multi-million-pound properties. Among her deals were luxury villas with pools, golf course views, and mansions sold for over £4 million. Despite her husband facing US sanctions and a $5 million bounty, Caoimhe lives openly, managing business dealings, traveling internationally, and raising children, carefully maintaining a life that is part luxury, part survival. Her story illustrates the delicate balance these women must maintain, living a life of apparent normalcy while married to men whose criminal networks stretch across continents. Simone McEnroe has spent nearly 30 years as the wife of Liam Byrne, one of the Kinahan cartel's key lieutenants. Together, they raised 3 children in Dublin, maintaining a household that straddled both domestic life and organized crime. Simone's life, especially in public, is one of glamour and careful presentation. Social media shows holidays, family celebrations, and designer wardrobes. But behind the facade is a life punctuated by raids and seizures. In 2016, guards stormed the Byrne mansion in Crumlin, targeting firearms and other cartel-related assets. Eventually, the Criminal Assets Bureau confiscated nearly €2 million linked to Byrne's network. Even with wealth and privilege, Simone's experience reflects the precarious nature of being married to a criminal. She had to navigate media scrutiny, police interference, and the constant threat of retaliation from rival gangs. Yet she has maintained a role as a devoted mother, balancing her family's safety with the reality of her husband's imprisonment. The 2016 Regency Hotel attack left Kelly Quinn widowed and thrust into a world of public attention. Her partner, David Byrne, was assassinated in a targeted attack that escalated the Kinahan-Hutch feud. Quinn publicly maintained that Byrne was not involved in crime, describing him as in the wrong place at the wrong time. Guards, however, viewed Byrne as a cartel enforcer responsible for collecting debts and carrying out threats. Following his death, Kelly Quinn became part of a network of women tied to the Kinahan cartel. While she has never faced criminal charges, she remains connected by association. Her story is emblematic of the trauma these women endure, losing partners to violent reprisals while raising children in the shadow of ongoing danger. Despite the threats surrounding her, Quinn has managed to keep her children safe and maintain relationships with other women in the cartel network, demonstrating resilience and adaptability in a world defined by fear and loyalty. Joanne Byrne married Thomas "Bomber" Kavanagh, a high-ranking Kinahan operative, solidifying her position in one of Ireland's most notorious criminal families. Her siblings, Liam and David Byrne, were also key cartel members, making Joanne's life deeply intertwined with organized crime. Joanne lived in a fortified mansion in Staffordshire, worth approximately £1 million. During a 2019 police raid, law enforcement seized luxury watches, jewellery and clothing valued at over £500,000. Despite her proximity to these operations, Joanne has never been charged with a crime. Her life illustrates the tension many women face, living in wealth and luxury, while their family connections place them at constant risk of legal action, retaliation, or seizure of property. She continues to reside in the family home, navigating the legal consequences of her husband's convictions, while maintaining her role as a mother and wife. Anita Freeman met Sean McGovern as a teenager in Dublin. Together, they raised 2 children, yet their lives changed dramatically as McGovern became a senior figure in the Kinahan cartel. In 2017, the couple moved to Dubai to avoid law enforcement pressure. Freeman adapted to life abroad, maintaining connections with other women in the network, including Caoimhe Robinson. Her Dublin home was eventually seized by authorities as a criminal asset. In 2025, McGovern was extradited to Ireland to face charges including murder and directing cartel operations. Freeman remains in Dubai, managing her family and navigating the duality of life as a partner of a convicted gangster, maintaining daily normalcy while living with the knowledge that the man she loves is behind bars. On the Hutch side, Charlene Lamb lives with James Mago Gately, who has survived at least 6 assassination attempts. Lamb has chosen a path of independence, operating Bombshell Beauty, a small cosmetic salon in Dublin. While Gately navigates the dangers of gangland life, Lamb manages a legitimate business. Her home was seized in 2023 by the Criminal Assets Bureau for alleged criminal funding, but Lamb herself has never faced charges. She represents the women who must balance survival, motherhood, and a tenuous connection to the underworld, often operating quietly in the background while threats loom large. Nicola Morrissey, 49, wife of Johnny Cash Morrissey, has been spotted publicly for the first time since their arrests in Spain. Johnny, 65, is accused of laundering millions for the notorious Kinahan cartel, with allegations linking their Glasgow-based drinks company, Nero Drinks, to the criminal network. The couple married a decade ago in a lavish ceremony at Dundas Castle and now live between a £4.5 million mansion and a villa on Spain's Costa del Sol. Nicola has maintained a high-profile presence, appearing in lifestyle photo shoots and dining publicly in Marbella, while her business continues to operate from an anonymous office in Glasgow. Despite being caught up in international investigations, Nicola has never been charged, and sources suggest she remains in Spain for safety amid ongoing gangland violence in Scotland. Her life reflects the balance many women in the underworld maintain: visible wealth and social status, but constant awareness of the dangers surrounding them. Sandra Vaughan, former MTK boss and longtime ally of Daniel Kinahan, has largely disappeared from social media, stepping back from the public eye. Known for her outspoken personality and defense of Kinahan against media criticism, Sandra is reportedly considering a move to Spain or Scotland, keeping her family away from growing gangland pressures. She is married to Danny Vaughan, a boxing coach who publicly praised Kinahan shortly after US and UAE sanctions were imposed on the cartel and its associates. The couple has focused on protecting their children and maintaining a low profile as the Kinahan network faces international scrutiny. Their story reflects a recurring theme among women connected to organized crime, navigating a life of loyalty, danger, and family protection, often retreating from public attention while the men remain under investigation or on the move to avoid law enforcement. Jacqueline Kallenbach, ex-wife of Christy Dapper Don Kinahan, passed away in the Netherlands. She was married to Kinahan in 2001, living with him in the UK and Amsterdam, and ran a number of businesses alongside him, including beauty salons, car dealerships, and construction firms. After their split in 2007, Jacqueline remained on friendly terms with the Kinahan family, even publicly wishing Christy's son Daniel a Merry Christmas on social media. She later entered a new, controversial relationship with Louis Hageman, a notorious serial killer and former Hell's Angel serving life for the 1984 murders of his ex-girlfriend and her 2 children. Jacqueline's life reflects the complicated paths of women connected to gangland figures, managing business and family ties, navigating personal relationships with dangerous men, and maintaining connections even after separation, all while living under the long shadow of crime. April Collins from Limerick found herself caught in the dangerous world of gang violence as the ex-partner of Gerard Dundon. In 2008, she admitted she could have alerted authorities to a planned killing, which tragically resulted in the death of rugby player Shane Gagan, a case of mistaken identity. Under Garda protection, Collins gave evidence in the trial of John Dundon, describing the fear that prevented her from speaking out earlier. She explained that intervening would have placed her and her family at immediate risk, highlighting the impossible choices faced by those close to gang members. Despite the trauma, she has cooperated with law enforcement, giving key testimony while maintaining her anonymity and safety. Collins's story illustrates the constant tension for women living in the orbit of violent criminals, balancing loyalty, fear, and survival in a world where speaking out could cost lives. Sadie Byrne, mother of the late David Byrne and matriarch of the Byrne crime family, has long maintained she has no involvement in criminal activity, yet her family has been closely tied to Dublin's organised crime scene, with the Criminal Assets Bureau describing the Byrnes as synonymous with organised crime in Dublin. Despite these connections, Sadie has been photographed in social settings with high-profile figures, including Jerry the Monk Hutch, highlighting the complicated social circles these women navigate. She has endured personal tragedy, including the violent death of her son David, while also dealing with ongoing legal scrutiny and asset seizures tied to the family's criminal network. Sadie's life is a mixture of public grief and private caution. She protests outside court, defends her family, and manages the scrutiny that comes with being part of a powerful criminal dynasty. Her story reflects the difficult balance for women in these families, raising children, preserving family ties, and maintaining dignity, all while living under constant threat and public attention. That is it for today's video. What is your thoughts on today's topic? Let us know in the comments section below, and I will see you on the next video.